Firstly, invest in programs and initiatives that are tailored to the needs of women's businesses. 38% of businesses in Uganda are owned by women, yet only 44% out of these are registered. To truly support these enterprises, we must invest in tailored business services and ease the process of formalization, including gender-responsive tax policies. We welcome initiatives such as the GROW program and look forward to additional measures that foster growth, formalization, and economic policies supporting women's businesses. Secondly, the social and cultural norms that undermine gender equality and women's advancement must be addressed as key enablers for eradicating poverty. This includes continued efforts on addressing gender-based violence both at home and in the workplace, which hampers women removing themselves from poverty. Thirdly, we need enabling policies and implementation. While we commend the efforts to date, more must be done to enforce changes in the world of work with enabling policies, closing the gender pay gap, addressing violence in the workplace, and taking targeted actions to tackle the unpaid care work burden, including through the expansion of social protection and family-friendly policies. We welcome the passing of the Employment Amendment Bill in 2023 and believe its ascension and implementation will greatly advance the position of women in the world of work. Furthermore, it would be important to see how fiscal policies can be more responsive to differential impacts on women and girls. Fourthly, we also need to close the gaps in education and skilling. The investments made in young people today will be critical to the projection of Uganda's development in the future. We therefore must invest in human capital development, in particular programs that support the re-entry into education and second chance education options for girls who have dropped out due to the high rates of early pregnancy and other challenges. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the number of adolescents getting pregnant spiked because they were exposed to sexual abuse following the closure of schools. Last year, 1,065 teenage pregnancies were recorded daily in Uganda. A total of 31,565 pregnancies were registered monthly, a figure higher than ever before. Investing in education will certainly increase the rate of school-going girls, in turn ensuring their safety and ultimate participation in the economic growth of the nation. Your Excellency, as your partners, advancing the gender equality and women's empowerment is a key priority that we see as fundamental for sustained and equitable growth. This work is important to the overall quality of development results. Uganda's population is projected to increase by 60% in the next 20 years to around 74 million from an estimated 45 million in 2021. Close to 2/3 of the population will be of working age, and about half will reside in urban centers. This presents an enormous opportunity and necessity to invest in human capital. We welcome the trend towards increasing the government of Uganda's budgetary allocations in this area. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, as the gender development partners in Uganda, we invested over $250 million last year in gender-targeted programs alone, in addition to multiple other programs which targeted women's inclusion. Together with the government of Uganda, we are committed to investing in gender equality and women's empowerment, as this is a crucial necessity to ensure that no woman and no girl is left behind. I thank you very much and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much, our development partner. A big hand of applause as she leaves, as I invite the UN Resident Coordinator, Madam Pauline Chiwango. As they come in a delegation, we know how smart, quickly they run things very quick. And soon we shall be finishing this program. Thank you for working like soldiers.
Let me start by recognizing Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, with a special mention, of course, for the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, all our cultural leaders here with us, all the development partners, all the women who are here with us, and standing on all the protocols that have already been set. I think, Mr. President, we're here today with some of my family members. There are 28 of us in the country, but I'm here with 3. You know the head of UN Women already. You know the head of IOM already. And we have a new one with us from Nigeria, who is heading UNDP, taking over from our sister who left, Elsie Atefa. I think for us, the main message is we've come here to really congratulate the government on the progress that it has made. We've heard from previous speakers that the legal and policy framework is truly robust for gender equality in the country. We applaud that. We know also that the government has undertaken really crucial programs. We applaud that. I think at this stage, what we would hope is that we continue doing some of those things that have brought us success already. I think first and foremost that we continue to invest in these programs that truly have helped women, utilizing new vehicles that the government has. The Uganda Women Empowerment Program that supported so many women, that through the parish development model we find a way to scale that up. I will not read the speech that I have in front of me because much of that has been said, but as the United Nations, we remain committed to really standing with the government. We appreciate the collaboration to continue working on this very important issue. The huge opportunity we have in front of us is the National Development Plan 4 that is currently being developed. And it is so critical because it's the last plan we have before we have to account for the 2030 goals for the SDGs. So we hope that together, in partnership, we can find ways of really accelerating progress, finding those things that really have been moving, those models of female entrepreneurship that truly works, and really scaling them up. So on that note, I wish all of us, all Ugandans, all women here, a really happy International Women's Day. We wish you, Mr. President, who has been really standing for he, for she for a really long time. Congratulations on all your efforts, and really looking forward to next year and the new stories that we will have to tell, and how much more proud we will be for the work that has been done and the progress we have made. Thank you.
Thank you so much, UN representatives, for being time smart and also being articulate. I want to take this honor and opportunity to invite the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. I want to take this opportunity, Madam Among Betty Ongom. And as she comes, I want to recognize the presence of the Head of Public Service, Madam Luce Nachobe. Thank you for coming. Permanent secretaries are all here. We request them to stand as the minister comes. Oh, she's the most favored. She's the only one that has come with the dance. So please honor the dance and shake the body a bit as you get here. We want to recognize the presence of the district chairperson, Katakwi, Mr. Omolo Joffrey. Thank you for hosting us with other chairpersons. And the RDC Major, Lieutenant Major Katemba, and the other visiting RDC. Thank you for coming. I thought you were still dancing. No. Please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Excellency, the Vice President, His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Right Honorable Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Ministers, Honorable Ministers who are present, heads of diplomatic missions and our development partners, members of Parliament, former national leaders, INSS, the traditional and cultural leaders, religious leaders, distinguished guests. It is my great pleasure that as women of Uganda, we are here to celebrate International Women's Day in this beautiful Katakwi district, where Her Excellency the Vice President hails from. We thank you, Your Excellency the Vice President, for being a role model to Ugandans and members of cabinet and appointed members who are women, that you occupy number 2, but you have held that office with grace, with dignity, with decency, and with all the substantial. When the Vice President chairs cabinet, we are all proud as women. We are all proud as women. When His Excellency the President delegates the Vice President to go and represent this country abroad, we all see how she has performed. We want to thank you. Your Excellency, this year's theme, Counter in Accelerating Gender Equality through Economic Empowerment, is premised on the realization that women everywhere still face barriers to enable them achieve their full potential. Recognizes that there are still gaps in economic areas that empowers women. For instance, in the labor force, it is telling us that women have not yet achieved, with women in Uganda still occupying 39% of employment compared to 58% of their male counterparts. In businesses in Uganda, most women are into micro and small businesses, and they're occupying 44%, according to MasterCard International. Of this, only 9% of the women are in medium and large businesses. Women like, I saw one of our progressive women who is into chairs production in Nwoya. Those ones only still constitute 9%. It is also telling us that we have not yet closed the pay gap, that in most circumstances, women can be in the same employment as men, but women will be given less pay. It is also telling us that most of the women who are employed, they are employed in less secured, low-paying jobs in the informal sector, temporary job, part-time, like cleaners, people like people in the principal below are where women mostly occupy. When you go to commissioners, directors, and others, in the corporate private boardrooms, women are still few. And yet, research globally is saying what pushes the global demand, the global consumption are the women. That actually, if you are to aggregate today as we are here, what women have bought to come to this function, from the shoes to the dress to everything they are putting on, it will constitute 70% of what has been bought compared to men who would have only consumed 30%. So it's saying women are the people who consume your products, but you are not bringing women into the economy. So, Your Excellency, this theme is calling for a deliberate, targeted measures towards eliminating those barriers and ensuring that we accelerate through different programs. Your Excellency, we have known you, we have heard you, and this theme resonates with your strategy and your approach that you have been guiding us as women ministers and as women of this country. You've been telling us to always tackle the root causes of women's disempowerment, that we should focus on transforming the structure and the institution. And so with that, most of the programs that government has undertaken over the years have focused on interventions that has influenced formal institutions, laws, policies, and practices that promotes women economic, social, and political empowerment. It has also focused on intervention that has changed existing negative social and cultural norms, values, and practices that reinforce gender inequality at the community level and emphasize empowerment approach through education and targeted programs. And let's applaud His Excellency the President for being a role model that he has always stated that he has put his girls to inherit from his property, and has always encouraged Ugandans that do not leave your girls from inheriting and supporting them from your family. You have been a role model. Your Excellency, your policy and program has supported affirmative action as a legitimate short-term strategy for redressing gender imbalances. In this, affirmative action has been in education, where now, after adding 1.5, we are now seeing more girls are graduating than boys. More girls are doing better in O-level results, in PLE results, in A-level, more than the boys. And I think many people are now calling for